Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel of Motorbike Nonsense. Ich bin in Berlin for a very quick whistle-stop tour of BMW's motorbike factory, which is behind me. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you everything inside, just some little bits I think. But there are some astonishing facts about this place. BMW has 32 bikes in its lineup at the moment. This factory makes 28 of them. The small 310s are made in places like Brazil and Thailand, so it's got a massive mix of bikes being made in here. 4,000 people work here, and they don't do things like building them in batches, so they don't make black GSs on a Monday morning, then some S1000 RRs in the afternoon. Everything is mixed up, which is kind of crazy and hard to get my head around. So yeah, let's jump in. I'll probably do a bit of voiceover and show you the few bits that I'm allowed to show you. So the first bit on our tour is this building where they make crankshaft. So if you've got an S1000 RR, that's where your crankshaft was made, and probably any other BMW, to be honest. So the difference between this factory and lots of car factories is they make the bits here, not just ship them in. So there's a brake disc building somewhere. That'll be exciting. Very arresting. So because the BMW 100-year birthday is happening at the moment, all the factory staff have been given the day off to go and get absolutely gazeboed. So this is empty, but apparently normally there is a truck arriving here every 7 minutes to offload parts into this logistics centre, which I'm now leaving behind because I've been talking instead of listening. Sorry, join me in my Berlin hotel room because there was a load of stuff I was not allowed to film in the factory for secrecy reasons, but I'm going to tell you about it now and use some B-roll to illustrate my point. Excuse the outfit, I've just ridden an S1000 RR through Berlin traffic. First up, we saw the logistics centre. This is basically where BMW takes all the spare parts in off those lorries and stacks them in these floor-to-ceiling racks that you can't really see because they're only meant to be accessible by robots, and there's a computer that controls it all, and only the computer knows where everything is. Apparently it's stored in a chaotic fashion, so things aren't lumped together. You don't get all the fairing panels together. Everything is just randomly assigned a slot, and the computer remembers where it is. That's not very German. Now, before you get to the production line itself, there are these sub-assembly areas where things like exhaust manifolds are bolted together. You see a Krapovich end cans arriving and things like that. The most interesting bit, weirdly though, was the handlebar assemblies, because you had these racks and each one had a crate for each bike with the handlebar and all the switch cubes ready to go onto the handlebar, but it was arranged in like foam cutouts, like a milk tray chocolate box, but for indicators. It was quite cool. Another thing we learnt walking around is that every bike has a piece of paper that is that bike's birth certificate. It has a barcode on it, it has a customer's name, it has a destination dealer, and yeah, BMW is very proud of the fact they only build for customer orders. They don't build for stock. So every bike that was being built in that factory had a customer assigned to it, but it also had the colour, so even if it was just a frame, you knew what colour it was going to be, and also the accessories that had been bought with the bike. So even from the tiniest acorn of a BMW, it was already a complete thing on paper. And apparently some dealers keep these birth certificates and frame them and give them to customers. Isn't that nice? The production line itself is actually quite a manual process. The only real robots involved are those to move bikes around the factory floor like wandering Dobermans in the night. And it was just very interesting because there are all these different stations, but because the bikes come through in a mix, at one station the guy might have to put on like a fuel tank onto an S1000 RR, but if an F900 XR comes along, actually he's got to switch and put the radiator on or something like that. And everyone in the factory has to know 5 or 6 of these stations, but they've got these super people, Uber people, who are called jumpers, and they are specialists who can do any job in the factory, and if someone's off sick, they can jump onto a station without training and know what to do. And apparently these jumpers can basically build any of the 28 bikes from the ground up, from memory. It's nuts. Oh, and when they're putting the bikes together using automated torque wrenches and things like that, it knows the torques. It's all computerized, so somewhere in the records, if you own a BMW, it will know the torque of every bolt on your bike and when it was applied, so they can go back in 5 years and prove that actually they did build your bike correctly. It also measures the torque angle, and everything is kept in a database. It's nuts, and probably quite good for getting out warranty claims. Finally, the most interesting thing I learned, no, it's not the most interesting thing I learned, one of the things that I learned on the factory tour was side stands. Apparently some models can have up to 15 different side stands. You have to pick one to fit it based on the country it's going to, because different countries homologate bikes and side stands in different ways. Sometimes the bike's only allowed to lean this much, it's allowed to lean this much. In some countries it's measured with luggage and the pillion, so it has to be a super strong one. Yeah, 15 different side stand configurations for some models. So this is the light tunnel. This is the light almost at the end of the production. I've not been able to show you all the other stuff, but I can show you this. And there's an M1000R sitting there, waiting to go to a new home. Just in case you're wondering, they use Bosch tools. So this is BMW's dyno room, where they ride about 140 kilometers on every bike that's made here. This one is going to Rochester Hills in America. I don't know where that is, but someone's going to get an 850 GS. Look at that. This is really cool. So there we have it. That was a whistle-stop tour of the BMW motorbike factory in Berlin. I'm sorry it was so brief and I couldn't actually show you as much as I really wanted to, because there's lots of trade secrets and stuff like that, and they don't want KTM learning how to build bikes properly, do they? So anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry it's been brief. This is a lovely hotel room at the Bikini Hotel in Berlin, overlooking the zoo. I can see chimpanzees masturbating down there. It's great. Anyway, see you next time.